We're weighing the pros and convergences this week on Hapless Heroes.
Yeah, I spent several sausages on it, so it is mine.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast. I'm Francesco, and tonight I continue to be your host and DM as we approach a potentially climactic moment that will not be ruined this time. Before we get to that, I'm going to introduce my wonderful cast of characters. You know them, you love them. We see them every week. We have to my virtual left, Dave playing Zero, Valen's Avatar of War.
Good evening, everyone.
Mike is Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind.
Always at my service.
Nicole as Boris the Butcher.
Hi there.
Zach as Pregnart.
I'm going to do something good.
Phil as Hedrick the Entertainer.
So fresh and so clean.
And John is Lord Jarrell the Light.
The power of Verlin compels you. The power of Verlin compels you.
Yes. So, there is currently a lot of things going on right now on the eve of the convergence. We have in the basement of the tower the hamstercism being performed under the supervision of many of the wizards of the tower, as for most of them, this is the first time ever witnessing a proper exorcism. They don't get this opportunity to document something like this very often. So Jarrell is currently wowing them with his divine powers, while I believe Pregnart is also with them. Pregnart's with the group. I think Quinn's down there as well. I think we have Zero with the group as well. I'm pretty sure that Boris is the only one not with the group. You were escorted outside of the tower because you pretended to be I think you went with the I'm Jarrell's daughter angle again.
Well, she was looking for Filbert, who was dressed as,
Well, she was looking for Filbert, who she did not expect to see come in dressed in disguise as a girl. And yet here we are. There was a wig malfunction. Boris decided, rather than try to beautify or fix Filbert's get-up, nope, back into a pocket of holding he goes. And that's kind of where we left off. Like we're probably about a couple hours from like the peak convergence happening, maybe an hour or two. And we're just going to kind of open up straight into the ladies' room, the public restroom of the Tower Plaza, with Boris now having shoved Filbert into her pocket. You had a chaperone who I believe you had explained you had some feminine emergencies that you had to go deal with, and this kid who was like a college bro, seemingly like wanted nothing to do with that. Was just okay, yeah, I'll wait for you out here. Okay, just do that. So you're about to walk out to your chaperone, missing one person that you walked in with just now.
I mean, so Boris, climbs up the counter next to the security window at the back of the ladies' room that you had previously described.
Yes.
I'm going to do no such thing as walking out to the chaperone.
Okay, that window, like I had described, does not have an opening large enough for a person to fit through.
Okay, but can I open it?
You can. I'm not sure if you've ever seen those, like the block glass windows with that tiny little
Oh, okay.
ventilation
That's not
opening.
what I'm picturing at
Yeah,
all. I was
that's-
picturing one of those little windows that like has the windy thing
No,
where
no,
you
no.
wind it, and I was just like, Boris could pop one of those out. No, okay, glass blocks. is harder.
Glass blocks with a little like ventilation opening, like a normal like any sized person is not going to be able to fit through that. You'd have to like modify yourself magically to get through that.
I don't have anything in my pockets that can do that.
You have a filbert in your pockets.
I don't trust anything in my pockets to do that.
He
I mean, I have Filbert's wand.
is a spellcaster.
Yeah, I watched him blow up a kitchen though, twice.
He was distracted.
It's true.
But I mean, you know, you're like, listen. Like, it's not like I'm saying that you're wrong for feeling that way. Like, it's perfectly reasonable to feel the way that you feel. But as far as you getting out of that window or getting out of this restroom in any other way besides walking back out the door you came in from, those are your options are very limited here. I mean, unless you're seeing something that I don't.
No, I'm not. So Boris, after much contemplation and climbing up and trying to fit herself through the tiny little security window, despite very obviously not being able to fit through there. I'm sure anybody from behind the bathrooms just sees like an arm sticking out of like a grate, maybe, just behind the bathroom and like nothing else. I pull Filbert back out of my pocket.
Oh!
Well, I guess I go into a stall first. Sorry,
Yeah.
I should clarify. If there's nobody in the bathroom, I just pull them out.
No, there's
but
people
if there's somebody
in
the
and out.
bathroom, okay, yeah. So I like go into a stall first and pull Filbert back out of my pocket.
Mm-hmm. What happened?
So the window's kind of small.
I could have told you that.
Can you turn us into mice? No, mice can't fly. Can you turn us into bees?
Well, when I got home, I realized like I was missing my wand. I borrowed my dad's, and he pulls out like one of the most magnificent wands you've ever seen in your entire life. This thing is.
Does it have like
It's.
majesty lines coming off of it?
I mean, yeah, kinda, right? Like as soon as you see it, it's one of those things where it's like, ah, yeah, it's like.
Is there a choir of angels or isn't there?
There is not, but you feel like there should be, because it's like it's a wooden wand, right? But it has all of these different like arcane symbols and things like that carved into it that are all filled in with like a gold filigree. You have like even like it's not circular. It's almost like a cubic cylinder. You know what I mean? Where it's like it's got squared edges, and each like all the like the pointed edges are even like sort of like golden and like shimmering as they make their way up to a very fine point tip. And he said that's kind of how I got here. Actually, this wand is tuned to some of the teleportation circles around the campus, and I managed to get myself under the leyline complex and sneak my way out here.
Boris looks like the scene from Aladdin when Abu sees the red gem for the first time.
Pretty
like,
sure
her
that's
eyes-
like in our Discord server, that's your fucking like profile gif.
Yeah, it is. That's Boris right now, like just like eyes wide on this majestical golden, clearly valuable wand in front of her. And after staring at it for, probably longer than she should, kind of like snaps to and blinks a couple times, and it's just like, okay, so bees?
No, but I what spells do I know? Hold on. And you see him like rifle through his pockets, and he pulls out this like tattered looking spell book. Like it's not his journal, right? Because you guys remember what his journal looked like. This is not that. This appears to be like it looks like it's a tome, but there appears to almost be like pages that are like stuffed into it and like crooked with a clasp that is like struggling to hold all of the pages together inside of this book. and he unclasps it, and then just like kind of, you see almost like that pressure released as he then opens the pages, and he's like starts flipping through. Like some pages start falling out, and he's like frantically picking them up and shoving them back into the spell book. I do have enlarge, reduce person. It could make us really small.
How small is small to you? Like tiny, like a sprite. Isn't that still like 6 inches at least?
It's enough to get through one of those little ventilation vents.
But then we have to get up there.
But no, you would go from medium to small. You'd go one size category smaller. So it probably still wouldn't work actually.
Okay, but would Boris know this? Boris would know enough about magic.
You've seen
like,
Pregnart use it enough times to know its limitations.
Yeah.
Hashtag
Most recently on the journal.
Hashtag Bush Journal.
I'm not sure that's going to make us small enough. Plus, we'd have to get up to the vent or get crushed by people. Do you have anything that can make us, look different, maybe, so that the chaperone won't recognize us?
Yes, I actually stole this page from my dad. I do have alter self, but I can only do that for me. It's kind of where the shoddy outfit came from. Hold on. And he starts flipping through his book again. You can see he's clearly like a little bit frantic as he's like trying to figure out what to do. In the meantime, while Filbert's flipping through his spell book, I want to just check in on the hamster system for a second, because like I don't want any of this action to get too stale, because everything is all connected here. I promise. Or is it? So, camera cuts. The power of Valen compels you. The power of Valen compels you. You could hear some of the researchers being like, who is this Valen this guy's talking about? Like, is this a deity that you're familiar with? No, I've never heard of this person in my entire life. Okay, let's make a note to look into this Valen. Maybe we'll ask him about it afterwards. They're just like, they're just frantically taking notes as like you can see again like the form of this hamster shifting, and like as if like the demon inside of it is like being forced out. Pregnart, how are you reacting to seeing this unfold once again?
I'm just terrified again.
Poor guy.
Pregnart did not know or did not remember what he was getting himself into. All he remembered is the joy and the little serotonin release of having the fuzzy little guy in his possession, and forgot about the other possession of the demon nature. And Pregnart's not having a good time again. He's just he's afraid.
That's fair.
Let's call it cowering.
He's cowering. Okay. Now I remember also saying that there was a team of mages around there. You had instructed them to continue to cast Hold Monster at different phases of this ritual to make sure that things don't get out of hand. And then we're starting to reach the end of the ceremony, where now you can like the physical form of the demon and the physical form of the hamster are about to be separated. Jarrell, I believe that this is where there's a difference. There's something else that you would do at this point.
Yeah. Jarrell would make sure to complete the ritual fully before pulling out the sword of justice and then trying to strike the beast. And use banishment once he gets the hit.
I would like for you to make me an attack roll against the hamster. Against Balathor.
Yeah. The first strike is a 26.
That'll do it. Let's just want to make sure that we got that out of the way. And just take it as read that this was very much a good, clean hit. I believe that there's a save, right, that has to be made by the creature against banishment, if I recall correctly. We just did this and I already forgot.
Let me double check. Yes, there is a save it needs to make.
Cool. What is the save?
DC 17 Charisma.
don't know if demons are particularly known for their charisma, so let's see. 17, you said?
Yep.
That's a fail. With a
Huzzah!
with a pop. Just the demon is banished.
And now Jarrell drops to his knees and has to focus, and you could tell that he's focusing for the next minute.
Okay. Cutting back to the ladies' room. Boris. You can almost feel like the ground just like there's just this very, I mean, the slightest reverberation. Because I know that you said I remember Boris's passive perception is quite high. So you can just feel like almost like a reverberation below your feet, standing in this stall. Like something just happened underground. You're muted.
There we go. Boris, under her breath, is just like, oh, stupid hamster. Filbert, let's just. I can probably fix this faster. And Boris like pulls her disguise kit out of her pocket, finally giving in to this, and starts fixing Filbert's. Actually, you know what? Not even fixing Filbert's wig. She swaps Filbert's wig out for a different color wig. I believe Filbert had a blonde wig on.
I think so.
I don't think I actually noted the color of Filbert's
I don't know
wig,
if
so
I
we're
noted
going
the
with
color.
blonde wig?
Yeah.
For some reason, I pictured it as a big, like, pink fro, but I'm not sure.
I don't
if
think
that ever
anyone.
happened.
I don't think that anyone else was picturing that. I just want to say that.
Sashay
I
away.
don't think any
Sashay
of us were
away.
picturing that. But yes, sure. It could have been. It could still be if you wanted it to be. But no, that's
Do I
not
have
very
a-
believable.
I was just gonna say, do I have big pink hair in my in my disguise kit? Probably not.
Would you
So I swap it out for different hair. No, I don't think so, because my disguise kit is supposed to actually be
be functional?
disguises.
Yeah. Mhm.
Have I been anywhere where normal people would have big pink hair
No.
recently? Okay, then no, that would not be in there. And I don't have the crazy coils from last time because we
Make me
time swap.
an intelligence check, but with your disguise kit. So, I believe that you're proficient with a disguise kit, meaning that
Yes.
10 is the probably, like, I'm not sure what your intelligence bonus is.
Intelligence, +1.
So 1 plus your proficiency. So that the lowest you could get is a 16 on this. But that's, that can make a difference.
20.
Okay.
Not nat 20, but
Yeah. Unnatural 20.
Yeah.
Okay. You let's cue the he's all that montage of like Boris, applying the right like touches of makeup, like the right adjustments and like pins to the wig, the fixing of let's just come up with like a little montage for this, right? Of the different scenes we're seeing as Boris is
Montage.
making up of Filbert.
Pretty dress, pretty shoes.
Pulls
Yeah,
the
we-
glasses
we-
pulls the glasses off, at some
The
point at the
glasses
end.
have to come off last.
Yeah.
The glasses have to come off.
What? No, the glasses come off first.
It's like the
Is it really the first thing? I can't
Yeah.
remember.
No, the
glasses
first
come
thing is
off.
always the
Isn't that the
glasses come
final
off and
touch?
suddenly
It's
you're
like-
hot.
and perfect.
In She's All That, the glasses come off after during the eyebrow tweezing, I think.
Okay.
You've seen it way more recently than most of us have then.
Right.
I watched it literally after our last it's on one of the two, and I felt asleep watching it funk till
Awesome. Perfect.
brother
For
check
sessions.
yeah,
I-
watched
now I
it
feel
all
like
that.
I was gonna say at least one of us has then. So okay.
Yeah, so I'm fixing eyebrows, I'm doing makeup, I'm also adjusting right? Like, so I'm not trying to fix up to make Filbert look the same as before. I'm trying to make both of us not look like the same people that came into the bathroom in the first place. So I also pull out the cute dress that I picked up during shopping, make Filbert turn around so I can change in the bathroom.
Okay.
Very awkwardly at the same stall behind him.
Yeah, he just very much like just like covering his eyes and everything like that, like very much looking away.
In this part of the montage, there's a big like anime sweat drop going down the back of his head.
Yeah.
I don't know what else you want me to describe in this montage.
No, that's good. It's good. I just want to make sure. I wanted to make sure we had a montage. Of just like all the things he did. Okay, perfect. Yeah, and you both look like completely different people now. But that's great. That's great. You're free to leave if you would like to.
Well, first I slowly pull off Filbert's glasses and put them in my pocket.
I can't.
Is he all that?
See without those.
Well, fine. Boris puts his glasses back on.
Thanks. Sorry, I just kind of need these.
Wait, can he reduce size on his glasses to the point where they act as contact lenses?
I don't think you want like glass contact lenses.
Fine.
Okay. I mean, yeah. So Filbert looks at you. Okay. What's the plan? Like, at this point, I was supposed to be down below in the ley line building here in this enclosure. I was supposed to meet that 33 or 34 or something down there at some point tonight.
We can probably start heading that general direction. I think the hamster system's probably wrapping up about now.
Okay, that's good, but I can't bring you all down there with me. Like this one is attuned. I can get there, but I can't get you guys get in there with me. Like you'd have to get in there the old-fashioned way, and I don't even know if you're like. It's probably so heavily guarded right now because all these people are here in the square. I mean, I could just not go. I was just thinking about not going. I mean, you guys said that whatever, like, if something I do can cause, and he like leans in like the apocalypse. So I feel like maybe I should just not do that.
Not going might be the best plan. I doubt 30-something cubicle is going to have any, real ability to do this on his own. It sounded like he needed you, and maybe he'll come find us after. So let's just go find everybody else. Boris grabs his arm and starts heading towards the exit.
And he just comes along with you, right? He's along for the ride now. You guys exit. You see the chaperone sitting there, and he's just kind of like sheepishly, like waiting, like awkwardly, like tapping his foot, this and that, waiting for Boris and her friend to exit. I'm sorry, whatever you think, Sally. I think you still gave the name Sally.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all we know. He's just waiting there for people that are walking out in front of him, but he has no idea. At this point, you can see the moon is starting to cross into that beam of the ley line, right? It's not at not dead center aligned yet, but it's getting close. It's probably it's not going to take too much longer. Like I think I remember mentioning about an hour or so. What's your plan? Like you don't really know. Like you weren't brought into exactly where I think that they were doing the exorcism, right? Like they said, oh yeah, we'll get you somewhere safe, young lady, right? So, but where do you go from here? How do you try to regroup? Do you just go take a seat somewhere, or like just go wait outside, or are you trying to go into the tower?
Outside when they talked about where they were going to do it, right? I was there when they were talking about the keys and asking if they had security keys.
Yes.
So Boris would remember what floor they said they were going to. Spoiler, Nicole the player doesn't.
Yeah, I think it was 4B.
Correct, 4B, exorcism level.
Yeah. Well, those are like the open floor plan, like all the different like pocket like pop-up labs essentially down there.
Oh, yeah, this is just what my notes had written in it.
Yeah. So
probably
you
not
know that they
accurate,
would be
but-
on 4B. And Filbert's like, I don't really think we should go in there. Like, there's so much magic in there that I feel like this is not going to hold up. And he's like pointing at himself.
Well, we could wait here for them, I suppose.
They're probably going to come back out, right?
I mean, they had no problem with the hamstercism last time. I'm sure Jarrell's probably already done.
I just don't. This whole hamstercism thing really just. I'm really having a hard time wrapping my head around it. But yeah, okay, cool.
It's either really important or it's not important at all. We're not quite sure.
All right, well let's give them a minute then. Speaking of giving them a minute, Jarrell, it's, you've had your minute. Nothing's come back from the void.
Yeah, I pick up the adorable little hamster who is no longer possessed by a demon, and I give it to Pregnart.
Oh boy,
Um,
I'm no
And-
longer terrified.
Wait, excuse me, would you? Are you just gonna take the hamster?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a harmless little hamster now, and my friend would really enjoy it.
Yeah, I spent several sausages on it, so it is mine.
That's a great bumper. That's a great bumper for the episode, I think. Okay. Did they say? Did you say? We will happily pay you in whatever sausages or currency you desire if we could just hang on to the hamster to research and just see what the after effects of possession are. I mean, there's so much we don't know about demonic possession. We would love to study this creature. We promise no harm will come to it. We can promise that, right? Yeah,
What
we can
kind of
promise that.
sausages you have?
What kind of sausages would you like, little one?
Pickled Polish sausage.
I don't know what a Polish sausage is, but yeah, we'll ask about it, sure.
It's from the North Pole.
Let's we'll get to a little bit. Yeah. Can we conjure some Polish sausage for the little frog person? Yeah.
Don't give me
might
any
as
of
well
that
try.
trash South Pole sausage.
You see one of them begin to. Jarrell, you recognize some of the words and incantations for this spell. Someone is beginning to cast Create Food and Water. You can see that they're casting what appears to be a minor version of the spell as they summon about 5 pounds worth of North Pole sausage.
Polish sausage.
Would this suffice? This isn't just like any other magically created food. This will actually stay with you and stay good beyond the duration of the typical spell. This man's amazing.
Yes, this amount of sausage will afford you renting this hamster for a week starting tomorrow.
Sure. Can we shake on it? We'll hold on to the sausage, and then we'll give it to you, I guess, when you're ready to turn. We'll exchange the hamster for the sausage. It'll be great tomorrow.
I think we know what happens when Pregnart shakes on it, and he holds out his arms to his sides, and he begins to wiggle back and forth, and he shakes on it.
Yeah, okay, and you see that like they're not sure if this is like some sort of weird cultural thing that they're just like missing out on. So they all begin to wiggle themselves as well, so as not to offend you.
And we're shaking on it.
You are shaking on it. Yes.
Jarrell,
Okay,
let's get out of here.
We'll see you tomorrow. Thank
Yes,
you
see
once
you
again,
tomorrow.
Jarrell
And then
and company.
gives a big wink to Jarrell.
Thank you so much again for coming and allowing us to observe this and bringing this matter to attention and taking care of it so efficiently. We have so many questions for you, Lord Jarrell. I'm not sure if you're at liberty. I know we have something about to happen, and there's we may have more time to talk about this later. But I hear you calling out to a Valen We're not familiar with any such deity or power. What can you tell us about this being?
Not much at this time, although that she is coming into power as we speak currently and will be a much bigger player in the things to come. Darrell's gonna try to leave it at that.
You're giving him like the old Back to the Future line, like your kids will love it.
Right. Perhaps now we could enjoy the convergence in peace. And we could talk more about Valen after the fact.
Yes, why don't we? Again, we are so grateful. Really, Dr. Hines, most of the guests Dr. Hines invites are usually completely off their rocker. It's really nice to see that he's brought in people who can make a real difference for a change.
Jarrell looks so proud of himself.
Have they met us?
Jarrell looks so proud of himself.
Okay, well, yes, come with us, and they escort you out. They bring you back up to the main floor. When you guys get outside, the chaperone that was sent to watch Boris and her friend is frantically running over to you. Sir, I don't want you to panic, but I think your daughter and her friend might have run off. I can't find them. I had to go in. I had to walk into the ladies' room. It was really embarrassing, and nobody. I don't want to talk about it.
Jarrell barely even he's not shocked at all, not at all even fazed by the fact that she went missing. This just seems like very normal for him.
Are you not worried? I just told you your kid's missing. I don't know what to do, man. I'm just a...
She'll be fine.
It's just a part-time gig. Should have never signed up for it. God, I should have paid attention in vocation class.
Jarrell will look up at the convergence. What's it looking like now?
About as I described earlier. It's still not at peak convergence, as the kids are saying. Are they saying that? It's
based convergence.
Oh my god.
Do we know what time it is?
You don't have a watch, so you don't really know exactly what time it is, but it's late. People are already oohing and eyeing at the spectacle.
Because Quinn was able to kind of tell but the more specific.
You can
time.
ask Quinn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Quinn,
Jarrell
do you ask me?
yeah, Jarrell would.
Do I just know?
You know what?
Or do I have to roll for this?
Yeah, let's do a fresh navigator's tools check. It's a fresh night sky on a fresh wipe.
It doesn't look the exact same as the night before.
Wipe, reset, whatever you want to call
last
it.
Time.
Yeah, it might not. Let's see.
Okay. So it's just straight up proficiency, right?
Proficiency plus we'll use intelligence as the supporting attribute.
Oh, that's a little bit more helpful. Not much though. So that's a 9, but I'm gonna use my lucky feet to. Well, do I want to waste lucky feet?
I'm telling what time.
On just what time it is.
Listen,
well, it's less about just specifically what time it is. It's more about how far we are from. Yeah.
Right. Convergence and being right. Quinn needs to be correct.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So,
but listen.
I think he does use it.
Sure, and you can't listen. I'm not trying to persuade you one way or the other, Quinn. I'm saying that you don't have to roll well to act like you're right. I just want to put that out there. You've already demonstrated.
Sure, I could do
this.
a charisma check afterwards.
I'm just saying. You don't have to be objectively right for Quinn to act as though he is correct.
That's true. But we are in convergent stage, and I feel like being right is more important than seeming right.
Okay, that's fair. I can accept that.
And I also feel like if we fuck it up, we can reset and I get all my lucky feats back anyway.
Yeah, and then have to do it all over again. If we do reset again, I will say that...
Guess what?
What?
Guess what? I rolled the exact same.
Perfect. You know, Quinn,
9.
you're things look a little bit different than they did before. You know, you have a slightly different angle than you did last time. You know, you were a little higher up. You guys were like just chilling, watching it from a bit afar, and now you're kind of like almost right below where this whole thing is taking place, and your estimations are a bit off, but you're guessing it's probably about 2 a.m. ish. We only got about like an hour until the same thing. You know, like we're at the same place we were last time when we reset.
Am I aware that I'm pretty much just guessing?
No. Because
Okay.
I feel like you as like that's because you made your best effort just now, right? So like
Sure.
that's your best effort. Plus on the top of that, feeling lucky, right? So like I feel like you are under no impression or inclination that like you would be incorrect about this.
All right. I convey that to Jarrell. Yeah, we're about an hour off.
You can hear one of the
Give or
wizards.
take.
You can hear one of the wizards in your party be like, "Actually, you know, it's probably should be about 30 minutes."
But about an hour, give or take.
Certainly less than an hour, actually, if my calculations are correct.
Yes, and my calculations are saying about an hour, give or take.
Yeah, give or take 30 minutes. I mean, I guess, you know, if we're just, you know, using averages, this person's now like starting to do like the I'm a brainiac and I know better than you type like voice. You know what I'm talking about?
So I'm literally interacting with a Felix wannabe.
Okay. Whoa. First of all, nope. You know what? I'm not.
Ouch.
First of all, ouch. Yeah. Second of all, how dare you?
But what I mean is, Felix does know it all. Was my point in that? This guy is a wannabe.
Dare you, sir? Third, Quinn's gonna die first.
But we can reset and I reappear. I think.
So let's take our seats. Again, this should be happening in about 30 minutes.
Yeah, 45.
He's doubling down. I love it. No,
Give or take.
definitely 30.
Well, you should have just answered him first then if you knew.
All right.
So while Quinn is arguing belligerently with this,
Bickering.
Boris can overhear this argument happening as y'all are walking down the steps from the tower into the plaza.
Oh, okay, yeah. Jarrell wanted to kind of like look more closely
At the crowd.
around.
Yeah, give me a classic Jarrell perception check. Let's do it.
Yep. He is the best investigator.
Your investigation
Yeah.
will need to beat a 20, which was rolled on the disguise tools or disguise kit check. So,
Oh, for them?
yeah.
For them?
You will need to get a 20 or better.
He has absolutely no idea that Boris and Filbert are in the crowd.
There you go.
He probably doesn't even see, like, yeah. It rolled a 9.
Perfect.
So
Yeah. You have no idea where she's at. Okay.
Boris is
again,
walking
sir.
beside Jarrell.
Yeah. Again, sir, your daughter is missing. I don't think you're grasping the gravity of the thing I'm telling you. I can't find your kid or her friend.
she'll pop up at some point.
You're that sure? There's
Oh, yes.
no concern.
I raised her. She's fantastic.
And you're not mad at me.
No, why would I be?
Because I lost your kid, man.
You didn't lose her. She got away from you. That's two completely different things.
Okay. I mean, I'm just gonna go keep looking for them because
Good
I
luck.
feel personally responsible for this. Bye. And the chaperone begins to go frantically running around the plaza looking for Boris and her friend.
Boris calls, "Good luck!" after him.
Let me roll something. He is oblivious.
After that, a young lady none of you recognize pulls a dwarven cuckoo clock out of her pocket and turns to Quinn and the wizard, saying, I have about 4 hours until the event starts, and then shoving the cuckoo clock back in her pocket.
Now that's just objectively wrong, but that's fine. We just, just the look, the fucking daggers that Mike is staring into the camera right now. It's
No
just...
daggers. the daggers are in my pocket.
Is that a dagger?
Yeah.
in your pocket?
Does he recognize this is Boris or no?
The fact that a dwarven cuckoo clock was just pulled out of the pocket, I'll let you make an insight
Right.
check. I'll let you make an insight check.
Okay.
You have seen this clock before.
Certainly not
All
here.
right. 23.
Yeah, that's from the future. So
I can't read the stars anymore, but I certainly know what Boris looks like.
Someone's whipped out this clock in front of me before.
yes. Well, I mean, Zero or / Moradin. This is this is Moradin's clock. That was on his fucking wall, man. That was his clock.
Oh, then he also would probably have noticed that it's broken, right? Because all of the dwarven clocks I have in my pocket are broken. I just picked cuckoo clock at random.
Yeah. So Zero, you also are aware that obviously the only
Yeah.
person who could possess this is
Yes.
your friend.
I'm not going to say anything, but a slightly pained look on his face for the briefest of moments.
The other well-disguised woman you are with, Boris, asks the group, do you want to go? You could hear him doing his absolute best to raise his voice. Do you want to go find somewhere to watch together? All of us? Alone? Together? Away from other people, maybe?
Just let the
Your
tension
voice
boil
sounds
over
really
that.
weird.
There it is.
I just have been feeling a little under the weather, but I just couldn't miss this,
Yeah, your voice is weird and annoying. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it.
I fucking hate you so much.
As an aside, I guess that's very much just for humorous effect. That's way too mean for Pregnar to be saying, but I guess I'm sticking to it.
You're sticking to it. No, because if anything, Pregnart's more just concerned for this person because their voice sounds weird.
Oh, right. No, that's a good twist.
Are you're sick? Do you need that chicken soup? I can make some for you.
No, I would just, prefer to maybe not be around so many people.
Here's my card.
And obviously, Pregnar pulls out the recipe card for chicken soup.
You hear a long drawn out sigh from this lady has a cloak over her head too. I think Philbert's doing as best as he can to just disguise himself and not really show too many of his facial features because there's probably people here who might still recognize him. He is the son of one of the most powerful wizards in this area. So speaking of powerful wizards in this area,
So, yeah.
there is a bit of a blast of fanfare from a band that was previously unseen to you, as some of the more notable people from the tower now are exiting out. You have Ebenezer is here in attendance. You have Mildred Skuttelbutte and a bunch of the other seemingly higher learning academics here in attendance. There no Dr. Hines, obviously. But they're
No, we know where Dr. Hines
But they all
is in the fishbowl.
and they all seem to be wearing their very official they're wearing their formal how some at certain college or school events, right? There's there's that weird traditional style of dress, you know what I mean, where it's just it's just they're like scholastic or like scholarly robes, right? They're like wearing like their hair in very specific ways, or even some of them are even wearing like those like little fake like curly hair wigs. You know what I mean? Like with a little
Powdered wigs.
powder wigs. Thank you. Yes, there's a name for those. And they're all, coming to gather up and, sort of commence the, just like talk a bit about, or do something about like the festivities here, right? They seem to be gathering and everyone is like, oh, look, it's Ebenezer, this and that. And you can hear Filbert mutter under his breath to you, Boris, like, I can't, he's going to know it's me. We gotta move away.
Are they near us?
I mean, you guys came down from the stairs a bit. You started walking more towards like the seating area, so they're not like super near, but I mean they're close enough that
they're coming up. They're approaching from behind us.
Yes, but you turned around once you heard the fanfare and stuff like that. You could see them.
And Zero is just gonna usher a couple of people to turning down the stairs with and we're walking.
And we're walking.
We walk.
So
big open plaza,
yep.
so plenty of places to kind of like go just group up on your own without necessarily like being too close to others, right? I mean, there's that nice roped off seating area, but I mean you can go stand anywhere. There's like those like little park benches, right? There's like those bushes and all those different things, the chess tables. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff happening in this plaza. You can go hang out just about anywhere. It depends on how far away
folks.
from the group you want to be, right? How far away from, like, the crowd.
So we're going to do what Professor Sorkin down at the Omega Project like to call a walk and talk. So while we're moving, where are we moving to? We want to find somewhere pretty quick so we don't look suspicious on the way there.
We do want we don't want to go too far. We want to be able to respond quickly if anything is to happen in the next couple hours.
Anything's to happen. Are there any loose ends we haven't tied up yet?
Not that I'm aware of.
Filbert chimes in. Hey, so we couldn't really talk about this too much before, but I don't know. I think I trust you guys. It seems like you are all at least trying to tell me the truth.
We are walking now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Walking away from them. Okay, good.
He says, I was supposed to meet that little. You called it a Modron, I think it was. I was supposed to meet him down below in the structure that's supporting and containing and focusing this ley line this evening.
Right.
I told Boris that I was just not going to show up, seeing as how I feel like maybe that's the best way to just stop whatever you say is about to happen from happening.
A rogue Modron below this right now doesn't sound very safe either.
Yeah, but if I only have the ability to transport myself down there. Also, I don't necessarily be pulling out my dad's wand while he's standing right there.
Both good points. A third good point. This Modron wouldn't have asked for help if he didn't need help.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Filbert says.
That said,
he asked
definitely.
He asked me for help because he saw that I was looking for, he said that we could help each other. He kind of found me when I was at a pretty low point, if I could be completely honest with you. And I just wanted to do something for good, to do something notable, something to like help the people around me, to like, to really make people say like, that Filbert's a really great guy. Like he really, he's like, yeah, he's a great wizard. Like him, he's better. He could be better than his dad, or just, I don't know, anything, even just something to get them from stop saying how much of a screw up I am. But I don't know. I mean, this thing, it's not like what he was asking me to do was too much. Like I was really just trying to get him access.
I have somewhat of an idea. Hedrick, are you able to teleport us short distances?
Well, I can call upon the dimension door.
And you're also able to scry upon Filbert, so you'd know exactly where he is, correct?
Well, that's true, so long as he allows me to do so.
Yeah, I would have no problem
Do
doing
you think you would be able to get us all to where Philbert teleports himself to?
Mm.
that? Ooh, that's an interesting
it
combination
would-
of spells right there.
It would take a considerable amount of my abilities, but let me see. Oh, that's tough. Okay, so how many times would I have to do it now? Dimension Door is me and another person. I can grab one person because I have to do the motion as well. I have to go to the place. I can't just send somebody off.
Right.
And then I'd have to cast it again to go back to get somebody else. So I can technically only do that 3 times at that spell level. Scrying takes 1 of my 5th levels. So that leaves 1/5, 1/8, 1/7, 1/6. That's 4 higher level spell slots so that I could use it. A total of 7 spells that I could cast, just wasting everything from level 4 up. I can do it, but only so many times.
Also, I wouldn't advise casting spells like that right here in the middle of the plaza.
They're quite powerful. The music's going to be way too loud. I'm going to draw so much attention.
Also, the city kind of has some laws against doing that stuff.
What other tools do we have? Well, let's rewind it a little bit. Filbert, what does it take to get into that room? Are we talking about like a specially keyed teleport? Are you going to be using magic to get yourself in there?
That is actually the only way to get in there.
Okay.
This was like they essentially had.
Do it either.
Well, there were old tunnels that they had built. I mean, well before even my dad and I, even my dad was born. That they had built to create this underground structure, but then once they built the teleportation circles, they had sealed those tunnels off. They really wanted to make sure that the only way in and out were people who were trusted and who were attuned to that circles, security. I promised or told this Modron, since I had access to my dad's stuff, that I can get him in there. Because he, I guess, would be considered an object in certain cases. He gave me this whole list of instructions of how to get him in there, but I don't know if it would work for people like you.
Now, have you already gotten him access to this place then?
Well, we did do a test and did work.
Okay.
But that was about 5 days ago, I think. Yeah, about 5 days ago. Haven't seen.
Did he leave after the test?
He did.
Okay. And now, where were you supposed to meet him? In that room?
He was going to come to my window.
Mike's singing "Come to My Window" in the background over there.
Wait inside, wait by the light of the moon.
Oh my god. But like I said, I chose to come here with you instead.
Okay. Next question. What's the approximate location? Like, are we talking about 3, 4, 5 floors down, somewhere in this general vicinity?
So based on the diagrams
under the tower
that I managed to copy from the records room, it's pretty deep under. The facility does go pretty deep underground. There's several layers, kind of like the tower, but where we were going was on the second level. All I was supposed to do was just change the alignment of a few of the devices down there that I guess are helping focus or harness, some of the magic from this ley line, or just, I don't know. Like he a lot of the stuff he was explaining to me, I was writing it in my notebook, but I could barely tell you what it all means. I was just trying to get all the meta math down and the movements and all of the stuff that he was describing to make sure I did it right. But yeah, I don't know
I don't know what's going to happen now. I mean, he said. I mean, this thing said that it was being hunted by the other, by others of its kind because it was, a rogue. So I was just trying to help it get out of here. I mean, if someone comes asking you for help, it's hard to say no, right? If someone's trying to kill you, like I could feel for that.
Understand you want to do something right.
But what's going to
And
happen? Do you think that do you know what would be chasing something like that? Like what what do you mean like others of its kind? Like, what do you know about? Like I don't know much about Motrons at all.
Well, and that's what we're hearing is that you are sure this thing didn't do anything wrong as to lead cause for something to be chasing it.
Oh,
I mean,
we have met a Modron. We know a few things about Modrons from the little bit we were told by 31 Squared. Oh, geez. This would have been a little while ago. The Modrons come from a plane of perfect, and I really need to just underline that in text a little bit. Perfect order. It is lawful in ways you mortals cannot understand. Everything has a purpose, everything has a place, nothing deviates from it. So whether or not this guy has done anything wrong, maybe in our moral sense, is not particularly relevant to those hunting him. He did something not expected, and once you do something not expected, once you do something outside of your role, outside of line, outside of anything, the Modrons have no choice but to remove you from the equation. So
he's on the run.
Yes.
That sound. Filbert says
And
that sounds.
regardless of whether he's lost, he doesn't have a destination. He can't go back to where he's from.
He cannot go back to where he's from, and I wouldn't say so much that the people pursuing him would be like assassins trying to kill him, even though it's the intended same result. But it would be more like law enforcement chasing a fugitive.
So they'd be hostile towards anyone protecting or helping this Modron. But would they decimate an entire city and open a gateway of hell?
Probably not. But I also don't think this Modron has a particularly deep amount of concern for anything that doesn't happen on his plane, of which this is not one.
Well, Filbert, I'm sure it's safe to say you are trying to help.
That's all I was trying to do.
But at what cost? I mean, altering these ley lines, heck, I'm a musician. Even I know I shouldn't be anywhere near those things.
But I was told, I mean, like, this thing seemed very confident. I mean, we can access magic from other worlds. Like, do you have any idea
It's tempting.
what we can offer to the people of Telduria, to the people of Uul, by harnessing something like that?
We're just trying to make sure there's a people of Uul.
I mean, yeah,
You understand.
I do understand. You've explained to me pretty thoroughly that.
I'm hearing your opinion out. I'm trying to get a feel for what the situation is. Most of it's well over my head, and if it weren't for my friends like Zero here, I'd be completely lost. I would not be in this tower.
I guess if I were to be completely honest with myself, I didn't really think it through. I just saw something in need of help, and I was also in need of help. We could help each other, and so that's what and you can see that Filbert is like trailing off as he's now looking up into the sky. The beam is starting to cross towards us to the center of the moon again. Except now the beam is starting to change color. This didn't happen before. The last run through. It's going from like that. I think that was, I almost described it as somewhere like this bluish, like light, like whitish, bluish, like color, to like it's now shifting through like all the different colors of the rainbow. It's almost as if like there's like almost like an aurora, like traveling and circling, and like almost like a helix, like a double helix, all the way up. This ley line, and he's like, "That's not supposed to happen."
Didn't happen last time either.
And that's what we're going to call this episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast. Come on, you know it. You expect it at this point. If those of you watching the Times on your little podcast, you're like, oh man, we're going to be coming up to the cliffhanger soon. Of course we're going to leave off at a cliffhanger. You think I'm just going to give it to you that easily? Come on. Anyways, if you like us, dear audience, if you hate me, if you want to tell me how much you think that these cliffhangers suck and that we should just play forever and ever, well, then you should just come find us on the internet. You can find us on such places as Twitter and Instagram. Just look for @HaplessHeroes. You can also find us on Facebook and Reddit. Look for Hapless Heroes Podcast. But really, all those places will point you to where we consider to be the crown jewel of our internet presence, where we hang out and have some of the coolest people in our little community. That's our Discord server, where you can meet and interact with us, talk to other people in the audience, other like-minded folks, other D&D diehards, people who have just started playing the game or who, are still finding their interest. We have all kinds of folk in there. We have a great team of community moderators, and me and Dave and the rest of the cast are in there hanging out all the time and, talking about everything from food to our cute little furry creatures to D&D to whatever it is. So we encourage you to come and be a part of that community. There's no barrier or cost to entry. Just pop on in there, say hello, tell us about yourself, tell us how you found the show. It'd be great. If you really like us, though, you could leave us a 5-star review on the podcast service of your choice. And if your podcast doesn't offer you the ability to write a review, we also have a channel in our Discord server where you can say some nice words to us. And yeah, we'll read that out in the air, and we'll say some nice things right back to you. It's a great way to help us. First of all, it just puts the wind in our sails. We love reading all the wonderful and kind things all y'all have said about us over the years, but it also helps get this in front of more people and listening to this little hobby of ours, us playing D&D and just being the silly old people like that, and it'd be great. So yeah, tell a friend and say some nice things about us and tell everybody that you know to listen to the Hapless Heroes podcast and how much you love us. But if you really, really, really love us, you can donate to our Patreon. It's just patreon.com/haplessheroes. We have a whole bunch of different rewards on there. We put all that money go right back into the show to make it this awesome production you hear each and every week. And honestly, we're so grateful that we have people out there who are willing to support this show. I mean, really, it's made such a huge difference, and we cannot thank you all enough.
And if you like us right now, you like us, Sally Field and the whole deal. Make a banana cream pie and hide a QR code that leads to a link to our podcast in the bottom of it, and hide outside of the residence of the Prime Minister of Estonia. That's right, Stenbock House. And when the Prime Minister is leaving her residence, throw the pie into her face and run away, and try to plan it out right so that as the pie tin slides down her face in a cartoonish manner, the QR code is revealed. And this seems like a good promotion for our podcast.
I guess there's nothing left for me to do besides outro this wonderful cast for you. Starting on my virtual right, we have John playing Lord Jarrell the Light.
Until next time.
Phil as Hedrick the Entertainer.
Let's get this show on the road.
Zach as Pregnart.
It's me. Goodbye.
Nicole as Boris the Butcher.
It's prettier this time. That seems good.
Mike as Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind.
Oh, such pretty colors.
And Dave is Zero, Valen's Avatar of War.
Good night, friends.
And I'm Francesco, I've been your host and DM. Tune in next week where we see what the crazy stuff is happening. What is happening over here? Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace and
Goodbye.
love.
Bye.